Apologies. Mayor Sloan, the motion reads, moved by Deputy Mayor Noble, seconded by Councillor Bogman, that the 2025 surplus of $454,168 be transferred to a newly created land purchases reserve, and that capital project surplus and deficit be contributed to or drawn from the indicated reserves per Appendix A of Report DCS 626.
Questions or comments? Councillor Graham.
Through the chair, could we just have Mr. Jansoon kind of run over the high points of this for us, please?
Certainly. Through Mayor Sloan, 2025 closed with $454,000 of operational surplus. We had 58 capital projects slated for the year. 34 of those projects were completed. 19 projects were in progress, and we carried 3 projects into 2026. Reserves closed at $39.8 million, and it's nice to see that we have about $42 million in either cash or investments to support those reserves. Debt closed out at $19.7 million. We saw 3 loans mature during 2025.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Graham.
So my question, through the chair, my question to Mr. Jansoon, with the $454,000 of operational surplus and then $634,000 of capital surplus, and we're removing, further down the report says we're removing $209,000 from the rate stabilization reserve. My question is, why aren't we putting money into the rate stabilization reserve so that we don't have to raise taxes next year when we're coming out with, again, year after year, when we were holding 0%, we're coming out again with another surplus, but yet I see that we're removing money from the rate stabilization when instead I feel like we should be putting money into the rate stabilization reserve.
The rate stabilization reserve ended 2025 with $1.7 million. Council, if they would like, they do have the ability to assign the surplus to the rate stabilization reserve. We just thought that we would set up a new reserve for land purchases reserve.
Councillor.
That would be my preference, but can you explain to why we're removing 219,000 and change from the rate stabilization to the fire DC reserve? Why is that being transferred?
Mr. Jensen.
Through Mayor Sloan. So this year we did reconcile the DC reserves. There were some adjustments required from 2021 to 2025. Fire is nationally funded by tax levy. So that adjustment represents a cumulative impact over those 4 years where we either drew too much or not enough from tax levy. Tax levy would naturally close out to the rate stabilization reserve. So the offset is to draw that back down to fund that DC reserve. That's where the money would have originally have come from.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. DCS 0726, Development Charges Annual Continuity Statement. Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Griffin, Councillor Connors, thank you.
Mayor Sloan, the motion reads, moved by Councillor Griffin, seconded by Councillor Connors, that the following cumulative adjustments be made to align to eligible DC funding. $219,306 transferred from the rate stabilization reserve to the fire DC reserve. $97,462 transferred from the water reserve to the water DC reserve. $1,563,822 transferred from the wastewater DC reserve to the wastewater reserve.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. Bylaws. Now Ms. Leach has got them grouped together. Is that going to be okay? Perhaps was a bit of a loaded question. Councillor Graham.
So if we could have the 2026-037 and 2026-039 separately, please.
And Mayor Sloan, I believe because we deferred on 216 Centennial, we might want to exclude that as well. Is that correct, Mr. McLeod?
Okay, good suggestion. Thank you. Any more? We'll be doing them one by one, but so we're going to do the following together. 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8. 5, 7, and 8. Thank you. Ms. Leach? Before we get to the bylaws, I'm told that on the agenda, we have 2 items from fire.
Yes, I apologize, Your Worship. I just realized that
problem.
those were mistakenly left out of our procedures for this evening. We do indeed have 2 reports from fire with associated recommendations.
Okay, so we'll just go to the chief here. And council, have you seen these? You've got the information? Okay, because they're not on this page, but they're here. Great. So Director of Fire Rescue FS 0326, first quarter 2026 quarterly activities report. Mover and a seconder, please. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Griffin, thank you.
Mayor Sloan, the motion reads, moved by Deputy Mayor Noble, seconded by Councillor Griffin, that report FS 326 Q1 2026 quarterly activities report be received for information.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Next is FS 0426. It's the donation of utility vehicle from the Port Stanley Lions Club. Mover and a seconder, please. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Connors. Question from Councillor Graham.
To the chief, through the chair to the chief, what are we doing with the old one?
So the old one was traded back in and it'll be going back to the Lions Club.
Just a second question. Is the new one going to have full stretcher capacity? Because that was the proposal originally for one couple years ago or last year.
Yes, so the new one will have a stretcher box on the back of it.
So note, I'm 6'3", so I just want to make sure, Chief, but our thanks to you and to the Lions Club for the generous donation. So I'm sorry I missed this on the agenda, but I think we're good now. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Thank you. Ms. Leach, are you good with the number of bylaws? Separation out of, we're going to separate 2, 6, and 7.
Just to clarify, 2 has been struck, so that's off the table due to previous council direction. So I would recommend beginning with the larger group consisting of bylaws on the list here, number 1, 3, 5, and 8, if that's correct. To read a first time. We would just need a mover and seconder for that.
Councillor Griffin, Deputy Mayor, thank you.
Mayor Sloan, the motion reads, moved by Councillor Griffin, seconded by Deputy Mayor Noble, the bylaws 2026-33, 2026-35, 2026-36, 2026-37, and 2026-40. Am I correct? Be read a first time? Thank you.
Very well done. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Now, 6 and 7. If I could get a mover and a seconder, Councillor Griffin, Deputy Mayor, thanks for the support.
Mayor Sloan, the motion reads, moved by Councillor Griffin, seconded by Deputy Mayor Noble, that bylaw 2026-38 be read a first time.
All in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Motions and notice of motion, streamlining requirements for waste disposal. Councillor Griffin, please. Sure. Oh, pardon me. 039, amending the BIA Board of Management appointees. Mover and seconder, Councillor or Deputy Mayor, Councillor Connors.
Mayor Sloan, the motion reads, moved by Deputy Mayor Noble, seconded by Councillor Connors, that bylaw 2026-39 be read a first time.
All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. All right. Well, Ms. Leach, I think we're going to have to separate these going on for next time. But thank you for your efforts. Now we can go to the notices of motion. Councillor Griffin, streamlining requirements for waste disposal, please.
Thank you, through Mayor Sloan. So we all received correspondence from the Ministry of the Environment sometime between last meeting and this. I regret to say, I'm not sure if it was actually this month. And the proposal that they're bringing recommends removing some of the notices to some of the involved or nearby people when there are changes made to the use of landfills. It's meant to remove red tape, but what it would result in is there being fewer people that are able to object to problematic changes, and landfills being able to change the capacity at which they fill without as much consultation and community feedback. So what I'm looking for us to do while there is still a window for comment is to object to that. I've spoken a little bit with Mr. McLeod about it, and I'm sure that he could expand, but my impression is that when staff looked at this, they were supportive of bringing up the problems.
Sorry, have you got a seconder?
Not until someone seconds it.
Okay. Do you have, how about find a seconder? Councillor Graham, please.
Mayor Sloan, the motion reads, moved by Councillor Griffin, seconded by Councillor Graham. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of Central Elgin register its objection to the proposed changes, that the Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks be formally advised of Council's opposition through the EA Modernization Project Team, and that this motion be circulated to the Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, to MPP Rob Flack, and to municipalities in Elgin County.
All in favor? Well, sorry.
During, when landfills are approved, there is a full consultation process. During that process, the waste service areas are debated, they are decided upon, and the host municipality lives with that decision. So to arbitrarily have that taken, that possibility of making changes out of the hands of the host municipality is, it's bad planning. It really takes a lot of local control out of the hands of the local councils, and having been part of a landfill process, it's tiring. It was about a 5-year process, and a lot of energy and time goes into studying it. And those service areas are a key part of truck traffic that's generated. So the amount of reports and studies that go into setting that is exhaustive, and to have that changed without the consultation with the local municipality is not a good thing.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Temporary traffic calming measures. Councillor Graham?
So looking at having approval, we all know that there's traffic issues and speeding issues in Port Stanley, Lyndhurst, probably in Belmont as well. So what we're looking for is to implement some speed controls within the greater municipality with speed humps, temporary speed humps. I know London does it, Dutton does it. and as well as delineators to try and get a control on speed and do a pilot project on East Road, or staff to present to the county to do a pilot project on East Road and Carlow Road for the speed humps as well, to try and slow people down and make our roads safer in Port and throughout the greater municipality.
Thanks, Counselor. We'd put in the budget, and Counselor Connors, all the counselors know, especially at town halls, that traffic's one of the biggest issues that we hear about. Relatively successful with the delineators. There's a budget, and I know that there's one project being done. I'd asked for a meeting to talk about where the other options were. Counselor, thank you for bringing it forward. I would add the area of George Street as well. So, I mean, to me, it would be requiring a meeting to discuss exactly where and when. I think there was some outreach to one of the neighboring municipalities that put in temporary speed bumps, which we'd all would like to see here, or at least the majority, I would think. So as for the costs of those, et cetera. So I support it, but I'm not sure if we are necessarily going far enough. So did you want to tell us a little bit, Mr. McLeod, about Dutton and their speed bumps, and give us maybe a staff update on what's going on with respect to traffic calming?
So Dutton Dunwich has implemented a pilot project for the last 3 years with the install temporary speed bumps at locations right in Dutton. They haven't provided me the cost yet, but they are removed at the end of the year before snow plowing season starts.
Counselor?
Are those on municipal roads or on county roads? Do you know?
Both.
Both.
Well, sorry, pardon me. No, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. I know they're on municipal roads.
I'm not sure.
Are we able to have staff look into that and contact them, have those conversations? Thank you.
Okay. Counselor?
Thank you for bringing that up, Councillor Graham. I'm all for anything to do with safety and slowing down traffic in the few communities that we do have. Love to see some statistical analysis when this whole thing comes through too, about does it slow down? What does it slow down to? Do people such as trucks avoid that area now because of the bouncing of their loads and stuff like that? So it's not just the speeds, but also the type of traffic that's going down those roads. Perhaps these speed bumps will get other people looking at other ways of getting around without going down our high pedestrian areas. So yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, Deputy?
This is through your mayor to Councillor Graham. We did those on East Road last year, right?
Just the delineators.
Counselor Griffin?
Thank you, through you. I do appreciate that we need to have some speeding solutions, and I know that that's something we've budgeted for and are all working toward. I have two concerns with this, and one is that although we do need speed measures in many places, not all of this is one size fits all. Like delineators in places where you have things like tractors going through are not necessarily a useful fit. So some places are not going to benefit from the same approaches used. And the other thing that I'm concerned with here is that this is being described as a pilot project, but just as Councillor Bachman was saying, I don't see any possible collection of data. For me, a pilot project means you've got starting data and then you make a change and then you can come back with a report based on the data about how the thing changed. So please wait, Councillor Graham, please. So to me, unless we have measured both the starting speed problem and then made this change and measured afterward, then it's really hard for us to say how effective this has been and whether to implement more globally. And I'm specifically concerned about that in Port Stanley because with our tourist community there, if we were going to get good data to see that change, that would probably mean measuring the speeding in tourist season and again in off season, and then using the delineators, et cetera, and measuring again in those instances. So that seems like it would require about twice as much study as if this were done, say, in Lyndhurst or Belmont as a first pilot area. So I'm wondering whether we could do this in a more cost-effective way. First off, by finding out what data staff already has, and then second, by choosing a location that doesn't have that variability of traffic.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Connors, please.
Through you, Mayor. Yes, I support that that motion, Councillor Graham. And, we're at a point in Lyndhurst, especially on McBain, where we've done some line painting and segregation there, and we're waiting for the results. We should have results by the end of this month. We're hoping to put in some permanent speed bumps there, but I would certainly put down Crescent Avenue as one that might be for the speed humps.
Counselor?
Just one final comment to Councillor Griffin's comment is we do have that data from a previous speed study on Carlo, I believe. So if we could call the vote, that would be great.
Okay, all those in, isn't calling the vote mean it's your notice of motion? Okay.
Your worship, just to clarify, there is currently not a seconder for this motion.
Oh, who's your seconder? Counselor Connors. If you want.
Point of, thank you. I would like some clarity on that. I hear that you've got data for Carlo, but I see that this pilot wants to measure East and Carlo. Do we also have the data for East? Okay.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Number 3, Counselor Graham, preservation and adaptive reuse of the front entrance building at the former St. Thomas Psychiatric Hospital.
So I'd like council to support a letter going to Minister Flack, IO, and the Premier for the preservation and repurposing of one of the psych front entrance building. In our own plan, it states that site alteration is to conserve significant heritage. And our official plan also says that we're to look to adaptive reuse of significant heritage. So Central Elgin Heritage Group has presented and delegated to us. The community has been very vocal about it in the psych lands. So looking for council to support a letter moving forward to go to the province and support that as well.
Questions or comments? Councillor Norm?
Through you, Mayor. At the beginning of this meeting tonight, we all stood for the national anthem, and I thought, man, I'm pretty proud to do that. And that was because some of the people that trained across the road put their lives on the line to give us that freedom today. So I would support this motion that Councillor Graham brings forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Griffin.
Thank you. I'm not sure whether Delaney has that down as a second or not, but if not, I'm also willing. However, I would like to just ask about the intention to only preserve one of the buildings. I spoke with Councillor Graham prior to the meeting because she had mentioned her intention to bring a motion, and I might have brought one of my own if I had realized we were only going to seek to protect one of them. And I'm wondering what the advantage there is, or if there's any reason that that feels like the more successful outcome.
Councillor Graham.
I think that preserving one of the buildings, requesting that the province preserve the front entry building has a better chance of being successful. I don't think we have a chance of preserving all 9 heritage. I believe it's 9. The previous Mayor Martin is in the crowd. It was 9 buildings, was it not? 9 that are designated. Yeah. I don't think with the planning that we have for housing and the province's emphasis on housing that 9 buildings would have been saved, but I think that we could probably save 1, and that would signify not only our Canadian pilots and mechanics that train there, but all of the Commonwealth train there. It wasn't just ours, it was Australia, it was England, Scotland, everyone. So I think we have a good chance of saving 1 of them if we can get behind it.
Sure.
Thank you. In follow-up to that, I know that there were certain developers who had expressed that if Infrastructure Ontario will agree not to demolish, that they do have an interest to try and put these buildings to alternative use. Do you know whether those developers had talked about just the one building, or whether it was their intention to work with the group of buildings collectively? I heard from Heritage Central Elgin member Sally Martin that there had been developers that expressed an interest in alternative use. And since you're on the committee, I'm wondering if that was just for the one building or for the collection of buildings.
I believe it was for any amount of buildings, and it wasn't just the 9 heritage buildings. I believe that, there was plans that, to my recollection, and I might be wrong, but to my recollection when we first came on board, as council, as a new council, there was the potential for creating luxury apartments throughout all of those buildings. If that answers your question.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Sorry, that being the case, then could I move an amendment so that we could try? There can be amendments on any motion. I may not move, I may not win it, Councillor Graham, but I would like to move that we amend to send this letter requesting that all of the buildings be considered.
Seconder, Councillor Griffin? Okay. So that fails. Voting on the motion that we have from Councillor Graham, preservation and adaptive reuse, the former St. Thomas Psychiatric Hospital. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving into seconder for closed. Councillor Bachman, Councillor Watson, thank you.
Mayor Sloan, the motion reads, moved by Councillor Buckman, seconded by Councillor Watson, that council proceed into closed session at 8:00 p.m. in order to address a matter pertaining to a proposed disposition of land by the municipality in closed session minutes for the regular meeting dated April 13th, 2026.
All those in favor? And that carries. 5-minute recess, folks. Thank you. See you, folks.